everybody, it's Sarah and welcome back to the Scrappery's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be working on my December daily, and mostly my December daily is the crepe paper snow and cocoa line, and as much as I love it, it does kind of float away a little bit. It needs a little bit of red and green to kind of ground it. So what I'm going to do is I have some base pages that I've got pictures and a few embellishments, but not completely and definitely not journaling. So tonight I sat down for a while and printed out all of my journaling, and I'm just going to sit down and you can watch me work on my December daily. This is about an hour condensed down to about 7.5 minutes. And you can kind of see me embellish and work with the beautiful Document December Days traditional Christmas kit. And here I am working on, it looks like, I think December 17th. I baked a bunch of cookies that day. My mom came over. My girls helped, and we made about 300 and I think 75 Christmas cookies that day. So I used the favorites card to write down all the different types of cookies that we made, and then on the reverse I used the card that already has the little gingerbread man on it, and I just stamped the date with my Becky Higgins roller date stamp, and I embellished with a few enamel dots. The card below it is just a 3x4 white card that I wrapped some twine around and stuck some chipboard pieces on. And now I'm just trying to decide the best way to embellish the back of that card, and I thought, oh, the best way might just be to take off that green washi tape that's kind of holding down the loose baker's twine and just repeat the same element on the back. So one side has a tree, the other side has a tree. Now, this was kind of a tricky one. This is an 8x10 picture of a plate of cookies that I made, and I printed it out as an 8x10, but then I cut around it to make about an 8x8 circle, and then I printed out the journaling just on some white printer paper that was kind of thicker, and I just used my sewing machine to sew around to sew that picture on. And now I'm going to just add some ephemera to the bottom of my journaling there. So I'm just using a snowflake and an acetate piece, and then that beautiful Merry and Bright puffy sticker that's red. So this is a prime example of how you can see how those darker red and green colors kind of ground all of those light kind of airy mints and pinks. I think that I'm going to go through my entire album and add the rest of that traditional Christmas kit and a lot of maybe like red baker's twine, because I think my December daily kind of needs that pop of color. So now we are on to December 18th. That was a Sunday. On the right-hand side, it says, "Let your heart be light," and thickers on a piece of acetate with stars. And behind it is about 7x7 picture of the beautiful stained glass window that we sat by in church. It was 18 degrees below zero Fahrenheit that day. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it was very cold. We still made it to church. And then that journaling was just talking about how my mom and I finished up Christmas shopping that day. Now here is the 19th. This was a Monday. I worked all day. It was kind of boring, but I did journal a little bit about the picture on the right there where there are some beautifully wrapped presents under the tree that my mom brought over, because we usually celebrate Christmas Eve at our house and the girls open presents over here, so she brought some over. And then I just added some Tori Amos lyrics about how our best present is wrapped up under the tree. And I just added one of those 3x4 cards with an envelope, and I stuck a hot pink bow on the top, and that was kind of it for that one. And now I am moving on to the 20th. This was a Tuesday. My youngest daughter had grandparent day at school, and my mom and my husband's mom and dad came for it, and they all decorated that gingerbread tree that you can see in the upper right there. And then these pictures were from my mother-in-law, so if you're watching, thank you very much for taking pictures, because I obviously didn't get to go, but she did get some really good pictures. That is a whole tray full of candy they had out on the table to decorate with. I thought that made a gorgeous picture. Then I'm using that beautiful Merry Christmas card from Elle Studio. I was so happy I got to do that. And then I just added some tiny word stickers and did my date stamper on the bottom and off-stamped it a couple of times. I pre-made a lot of my pages. You can find my base pages on my YouTube channel. And then here I'm just trying to figure out, there was kind of a weird cup right in front, and I wanted to cover that up with a piece of ephemera. So I went with that little round love and an enamel tree and a couple of enamel dots. just to cover up the cup, but you can kind of still see what their little hands are doing there. And this is almost the end here. This is going to be oh, I forgot to add the journaling. So I'm doing a little bit of hidden journaling. I typed all that out on the computer, printed it out, and then I just added a little notes piece of ephemera that kind of sticks out that you can kind of just pull on it to read the story about the day. Now I'm going to make my last filler card. This is going to be for December 21st. That was a Wednesday. My daughter had a choir concert at school. Where it says good cheer there, that's an acetate overlay over a 4x6 black and white, that because it's a bunch of kids who are not mine, I did not want them to be on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or anything. So I just cut out a piece of vellum through my die cut machine with a big die cut snowflake, and then I put another piece of vellum because you could still kind of see through it. But once you flip that page, you can turn it up and very easily see what's going on if you're in person watching that. So now this is going to kind of bring us to the end. That's where I decided to end because we definitely needed to eat dinner at this point. So here are some close-ups of all the pages that I worked on. I'm definitely planning on doing at least one more wrap-up video for the Scrappery because, like I said, I want to use all of that gorgeous traditional Christmas kit. I want to show you how you can incorporate that with a snow and cocoa to like I said, ground the collection because it needs those darker colors to kind of ground it. So anyhow, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope everyone has a great New Year, and I can't wait to have another video for you guys next week. Bye, ladies.